You can tell that this house now became activated when he turned 20. When he started networking a lot, when he started meeting new people. So all that started from when he was the age 20. I can tell when other things will happen to him.
In this episode, I sat down with someone who knows more than you and I do about astrology. This time, we are going to learn about birth charts and what your birth chart says about you. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to give you a crash course that will help you understand what a birth chart is so that you can deeply appreciate the immense value in this episode. Your birth chart in astrology is a map of the sky at the exact moment and location of your birth, depicting the positions of the planets, the sun, moon, and astrological houses to provide insight into your personality, your life path, and your potential. A birth chart looks like this. It is divided into 12 segments which are called houses. The first house is the house of self, which deals with your identity, your appearance, and your first impressions. The second house is the house of value, which includes your finances, your possessions, and your self-worth. Your third house is the house of communication. Your fourth house is the house of home and family. Your fifth house is the house of pleasure. Your sixth house is the house of health. Planets, on the other hand, signify certain traits. So if you have a planet like Mars, which signifies force and aggression, in your first house, which is the house of self, it may signify a strong, assertive, and energetic personality. People like this are often direct, action-oriented, and driven, with natural inclination to take initiative. They may come across as confident, competitive, or even impulsive, as Mars fuels their desire to assert themselves and lead. Interestingly, today we analyzed the birth chart of one of our team members. Let's get into the episode.
Each birth chart is unique to an individual. No two people have the exact birth chart, even twins. You might have somebody that have similar placements, similar house and zodiac signs in similar houses, but the degrees would definitely be different. It is rare to find somebody with the exact birth chart as you have.
Even someone that was born in the same place and time as you.
Yes.
The birth chart is to be different.
Yes.
So birth chart is it like life paths?
You can call it that. It is a way that it is a map.
Okay.
Into someone's soul. Into your soul's journey. I've come to understand that on a birth chart, I don't know if I can show you this on my phone now, if it's okay for me to show you. In some birth chart now, for example, this one, you can see that there are some houses that are empty.
Yeah.
That means this individual's focus in this lifetime now is not on those houses.
Okay.
Yes, it is the houses that have placements in it. He's an Aquarius placement and he has a lot of emphasis on the 11th house. Aquarius is the ruler of the 11th house, which has to do with crowd, networking, and amongst other things. So he has a lot of emphasis. Let me go through his birth charts real quick. He has his moon, his Chiron, his lot of fortune. That's interesting. And in the 11th house, so his Aquarius too is also in the 11th house, which is at home.
Okay.
Yes. So for somebody with this birth chart now, networking, like being in a different space, being like an alien in his crowd now is something that he should follow.
Okay.
Yes.
Being separate from what the crowd is doing.
Yes, set trends. And his moon is also in his 10th house, which means his career would have to do with things that are emotional. He has to tap into his emotions a lot to anything
to fulfill his career.
Yeah, to fulfill his career, because your 10th house is your house of career, the highest point of your life that you will reach.
Yeah.
Yes, that is. His moon is in Capricorn, which is also the ruler of the 10th house. I think I would say this person has a very good birth chart because everything seems to be in place here.
Okay, what is a moon in Capricorn?
Let's say, for instance, this is the moon and this is Capricorn. The moon is never comfortable in Capricorn. So being somebody that has that placement now in your 10th house, it will be difficult for you now to tap into your emotions all the time.
or it not be accepted? Is that also another way to
No,
put it?
it's sometimes it might seem forced.
Okay.
Yes, sometimes you just have to.
Okay.
It's not something that easily comes to you as an individual.
Mm.
I'm just going to read this thing real quick from
Okay.
this website.
Mm.
It says the moon in Capricorn, you see safety outside of the society. You might underestimate what you want from yourself and for yourself. Shyness may be accompanied by resentment of the fact that others ignore you. You may feel that you are useless or unloved. Do not seek approval from outside. It will it will not get rid of your doubts and it is harmful to you. You have to trust your inner values. Otherwise, it may happen that you succumb to external pressures. The need to cope with adverse realities since childhood may give you the ability to survive difficult periods. Capricorn, from my limited knowledge on the subject,
Mm.
has to do people with Capricorn placement are people that have had to grow up faster than they have ever wanted to.
Okay.
Yes, they think older than their peers. They move with people that are older than them. Most times it might not just be in age, it might just be career wise.
Okay.
And
Best chat.
in this instance now,
Okay.
I can tell because the moon signifies the mother. I can
Okay.
tell that his mother had something to do with his career,
Okay.
or at least something from his mother's side had to do
Mm.
with his career. So having that placement now, it means he has to continue showing reverence to whoever was the source,
Okay.
his source at the early stages of his career,
Okay.
and not to doubt in himself and keep growing.
Yeah.
It's a lot more extensive than that, so I just
Yeah.
want to keep it brief.
Let me ask. I have another set of questions that, or they have a question that I need that set of answers to understand
Yeah.
astrology properly, because I've seen a lot of times, like with work, for example, I see some things where they separate astrology from religion, even if it's a belief system. So, what are the principles of astrology? What are the things that astrology believes in? Like
Astrology.
life after death and the rest. What's their principle on those things?
Astrology believes in the universe.
Okay.
Are you alive? Do
Mm.
you are you on planet Earth? Do you see the sun?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the moon? Do you feel the heat of the sun on your skin?
Mm-hmm.
So if yes, then astrology is real.
Yeah, but I'm saying, does it believe that there is life after death? That kind of thing.
It
Since
is
you
it
say,
is not a religion.
okay,
Yes, it is not a religion. There is no belief in life after death or life before death. There's a belief in your soul's journey.
okay,
Yes.
but I'm alive now. And if you
Yeah.
say my soul's journey, then does it mean that my soul's journey on earth only?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So according to astrology, after we die, what happens then? Nothing,
Nothing.
there's
Yes.
no,
Yes. Your
okay,
birth chart is just for your existence now.
okay.
Yeah.
So you said something about him having a good birth chart.
Yeah.
If you pull up somebody else's birth chart, what would you see that would make it a bad birth chart?
There's no bad birth charts.
Okay.
Mostly has to do with the individual themselves. You might have, for instance, you the host now have your rising in Scorpio.
Yeah, you've seen my birth chart here.
Yes, it makes you very mysterious. It gives you this mysterious aura. It makes you um seem inaccessible.
And that is something that you deduce from my birth chart.
Yes.
Because of what placements?
Your Scorpio rising is in the first house.
And anybody who has Scorpio rising in the first house has that characteristic.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm using tropical astrology. Now there's something called sidereal astrology, but that's for the Indians.
Okay.
Yes. Modern astrology was for the Mesopotamians and the Egyptians and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm trying to understand is how some people talk like it's a helpless situation, like your birth chart or your astrology or your star sign has some influence on your character, which you've explained now. So tell me if I'm wrong. If you were born on a certain day at a
Yeah.
certain time in a certain place, you have a birth chart, right? That has already. So even babies, if I go to the hospital close by here now and there's a baby giving birth to, and I ask what is the time, I can check the baby's birth chart and know this personality that baby is going to grow up to be,
Yes.
regardless of training.
Yes.
I will know what is going to be
Yeah.
the personality of that baby, and that is fine now. Like, it is set in stone. There is nothing else you can do to change that. That's what you're saying.
As much as water is liquid, water is also ice. So for everything that has a good side, there's also a bad side to it.
Okay.
A lot of people like to pick on certain zodiac signs and be like, oh, these ones are the bad ones. Gemini has a very bad press.
Why?
For being known as devious, two-faced, because it is signified by twins.
Okay.
Which one is good, one is bad. But I believe that Gemini is the zodiac sign that mirrors all of us.
Gemini is the zodiac signs that are born in which month?
In June.
And they are mostly because they are Gemini.
Yeah.
They tend to be two-faced in behavior.
But what people don't know is that Geminis are known for being very witty, intelligent. They have quick response to things. They are not just liars and manipulators. That's the bad side of them. And all zodiac signs have their bad sides as well.
Okay.
So if you say for instance, a Cancer placement now is intuitive, is emotional. That same Cancer placement can use that intuition and emotions now in a negative light to manipulate somebody.
Okay.
Yes.
And they can also use it to help somebody,
yes,
like to help understand somebody, for example.
Yes.
Oh, I get it. Somebody's knowledge of their astrology.
Yeah.
Can you tell them things about their life and the seasons they are in and whether they'll be successful in a particular year or not and things like that?
Definitely. A lot of billionaires, let me use billionaires because they are the ones that I feel like take their finances seriously.
Yeah,
most of them have astrologers in their camps.
What does an astrologer do for a billionaire, for example?
It helps them read their birth charts, read the birth chart of people who are coming into their companies, who are going to work for them. There are some people whose there are some things that our parents would say star clashes with another person's star. Yes. So these people are usually in their HRs, working with their HRs now to hire staffs into their companies. So there are sometimes that you feel like you're overqualified for that job that you applied for, but you're just not hired. It's because there's something about you that will just bring the company down when you come into their fold.
And they can tell that from your birth chart?
Yes, they can tell that. I mean, there's a reason why they ask for your birthday and your place of birth.
So if I have for example, you have my birth chart now, and I have somebody I want to partner with in business, and I somehow get their birth chart and send them to you, you'll be able to tell me how useful or useless this person can be in my life. I can
be able to tell if the person will betray you eventually, how the person will betray you eventually, when the person will betray you eventually.
Just by having their birth chart. So your birth chart is like private information.
Yes, very private information.
I mean, for those people that can read it, they are the ones that can use it, obviously.
Yeah, it has a lot of mathematical aspects to it as well. There are degrees that also mean different things.
Okay.
I'm just going to give an overview of what the degrees means. Most times, those houses, for instance, if you have, let me use our man here as an example again. Excuse that. For instance, now he has his sun in the 11th house or at 20th degree.
Okay.
You can tell that this house now became activated when he turned 20. When he started networking a lot, when he started meeting new people. So all that started from when he was the age 20. I can tell when other things will happen to him just by looking. But it's much more than that. And you just need a one-on-one session to understand it.
Because you have to hear from the person too to get the context.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Anyway, I want to know something about my birth chart. For example, if you were to tell me it's one thing, right? My North Star. What's my North Star? What's my North Star? What am I supposed to do in?
Okay, your North Node is in Virgo.
What does that mean?
It means you have to be methodical, and almost perfectionist to achieve whatever you want to achieve. We know Virgos are perfectionists. They like to have every detail written down, thought of. Like, you have to think everything through first before you act on something. So in order to reach your highest potential, you have to be that kind of person.
And this is the same for everybody who has Virgo in their North Node.
Yes.
Right. Give me an example of something else you can have in your North Node that means something else.
For instance, if you have Leo now, which is ruled by a luminary, the sun, you just have to be a flamboyant person. You either have a big personality, you either have to talk loud, or dress loud, or just be extravagant in one way or the other.
Right.
And that is how you get noticed. That's how doors will be opened for you to walk into specific spaces where if you are just a bland person, it won't work for you that way.
So in a nutshell, obviously I'm not trying to diminish everything, but when you say just be yourself, this description is like a strong point in the argument of just be yourself.
Yes.
Because it's helping me on my understanding of astrology so far, thanks to you, is to let people be.
Yeah.
You know, I used to have certain prejudices, and with knowing this thing now, you know, certain people are certain ways because that is how they have to be.
Yeah, that's how they are hotwired.
Yeah, to survive and to achieve what they need to achieve. And if you're hating somebody or not liking somebody for being themselves, then you are hindering something.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you are the bad person in that person's story.
There's also a part of astrology that says something about that. If you're a man that hates women, you're hurting your Venus. Because Venus has to do with beauty and this thing.
Okay. And
women are ruled by Venus. For a man now that hates on men, he's hurting his Mars.
Is this like a jealous man, for example?
Yes.
Okay.
You're hurting. You will not have forward thinking. You will not be action oriented. There'll be no aggression to you. You'll be what they call in my language, opeka.
You'll be laid back.
Yeah, you just be laid back. But because all that energy now that is supposed to be externalized, you're internalizing all those thoughts, all those action now. So you just become a very laid back person.
Thank you very much,
You're
Cassandra.
welcome.
We have a closing tradition on the podcast where you give us one life advice that you put in our book. And at the end of this episode, you do that. Thank you very much for coming on the Good Living Podcast.
Thank you for having me.